It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Alaja Nyma Akasha Ziviri in the building. All your fans have been looking for you. Is Alaja okay? Where is she? Did she travel? Well, she's here.
She's here.
Hello to your fans.
Hello.
Hello. They've missed you.
It wasn't okay, but it's better now. I'm grateful to God. I felt ill early in the year. I think earlier, first week of February, I kept going back and forth to the hospital, and I got hospitalized, admitted for a while, and it required go and rest. So rest we took, and so we're back. I'm so grateful. I feel that, you know, I'm overprivileged to have the kind of fans I had.
Yeah.
I would get calls. They practically had to take my phones away for me to sleep. And then my birthday came, it was another war entirely. But throughout this journey, I must thank God for family and community. Yesterday evening, my community still came with bags of things. Hope you are doing well. We just came to check up on you, to help me with everything. I'm grateful for my husband. I'm blessed with my kids, blessed with my community. Yolu, Miriam. No, I can't. I don't want, let me not bother mention.
Can't finish it one day.
Can't finish it in one day.
Small by small.
So I will just say thank you to the ladies of Your View as well.
Welcome
because
back.
now I no road to Festac. But
It was a road trip.
It was serious enough to drag everybody out.
Yeah.
That place.
Use your glasses, please. Wear them. Want to see
I
what
wear
you
it
think.
now.
Hey,
wait,
now, wait.
Want to see the look?
I dare not drive without.
Get.
Somewhere where's your
Hey,
Let us know the people that are
I'm not
seeing clearly on this.
Please, you need to find you a final frame.
No, this is me now.
Who picked this one for you?
What did you think I would pick if
I wanted to give you a fancy.
We need to give
Okay,
change
I'll
the
give
frame.
it to you.
This frame is not working. Even
Yeah,
me say,
even
me
sugar.
don't know fashion. My whole frame still is there here. We can
That's hospital in Festac. See what they said about your guys.
So if you're on this table wearing glasses, please be wearing your glasses. Let's know the people that are seeing clearly on this table.
This one,
Somebody's not wearing
never
her
bad like
glasses.
that.
Let's see how you doing. Let me
I'm doing
continue.
amazing.
How was your weekend?
And the weekend was good. So my guests have finally gone back. They left on Saturday. The house is now back to its normal calm. We're getting ready to resume physical school tomorrow. Yeah. They've been doing online. And I just realized that I just have to keep shopping and shopping. You know, the next minute they are sending lists, bread is finished. I can't wait for them to go to school, at least to reduce the quantity of food they eat. You know, and then I'm going to place everybody on a diet. I'm back to my diet today.
Nice.
Yes, my son is huge. He looks like a giant already, so I need to place him on a diet. But my body is still in America. I'm still not sleeping. I slept about 2 a.m. yesterday. But hopefully this week I'll be able to settle
eventually
in.
you adjust.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Topsy. How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. We also did a little. Our baby has gone. We had our baby for 3 weeks, and it was so much fun. My kids didn't want her to go yesterday. They were like, "Can we be going to Zoya's house? Can we spend more time with Zoya?" I said,
Let's go to where? Where's she going?
So my in-laws couldn't, you know, American visa and their drama now. So the baby couldn't get the visa, and they had to go and visit their other kids abroad. So the baby stayed with me a year plus for the past 3 weeks, and my children have bonded. Like, she's already talking. You know, you have lots of children around. She's calling their names. She could identify the twins from each other, which was a bit complex for every other person.
They didn't give the little baby visa.
No. She didn't get a date. You know that you cannot get dates in Nigeria now. You have to get, they're giving people three years ahead. You know, so sad.
True.
But we got to enjoy having a baby in the house, and they have been begging me to have
another one.
Give them a baby. I say no.
Okay, we got it roll. Fantastic.
How was your weekend?
Your weekend.
Your weekend was
Very well.
It's okay. Let's go on a break. When we return, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Tinubu strikes multiple deals with Germany, Korea, India, and others. 26 die in Niger boat accident. Eagles wallop Sao Tome. 6.60. British warship in Lagos. Federal roads collapse across states. Wheat production gets $163 million boost. Acquisition of bank, CBN Deputy Governor quizzed. President fair to Igbo with appointment, says Soludo. United Nigeria 6 slots into London, Dubai, and other routes. Okay, which story are we starting with in The Nation?
We can start with the United Nigeria Airlines.
Okay.
It said they have secured approval for the operation of international flights into 6 countries. And according to the Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development's approval, the airline would operate international flights into the United States of America, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Italy, Ireland, and the United Arab Emirates. So there was a letter dated September 8th, 2023, which conveyed the approval from the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development and was signed by Director of Air Transport Management, Mr. H.T. Ejiburu, on behalf of the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, to the United Nigeria Airlines Company Limited. And he said the approval was in line with a subsisting bilateral air service agreement between Nigeria and each of the other countries. And they went ahead to, mention what the letter reads. But this is a good development. Let's see how we can, fly into some of these countries.
So Governor Soludo, Chukwuma Soludo, was speaking. Yes, he's also the leader of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. He was speaking at an event, said that the president has not marginalized Ndigbo, despite losing the 5 states during the February 25th elections. According to him, he said that given the totality of votes we contributed from Southeast and looking at the ministerial portfolios, we may not have the basis to begin to demand for juicy portfolios. According to him, giving the former Governor Umahi Ministry of Works is huge for the Southeast, amongst other ministers, Doris Anite, Industry, Trade and Investment, Uche Naj, Innovation, Science and Technology, Minkuru Onye Georgia, that's Minister of State for Labor, and Uju Kennedy, that's Minister for Women Affairs. So these are big portfolios. Looking at Tinubu never considered his rejection by the Southeast. During the poll, Soludo said that the Ministry of Works to the Southeast is huge. So Nigeria is a federal federation. You cannot stay in your state, clap with one hand and expect noise. You need the other hand, which is the federal government, for things to work. So he's happy about the...
As a follow-up to that story, the Minister for Works had visited the governor of Anambra State, and so Nation has an article that took inventory of all the federal roads across the country, starting with the Jalingo-Yola Road, where the Vice President directed the Northeast Development Commission to immediately prioritize those roads. And they moved on to, the roads, the Gombe-Bauchi, Maiduguri-Damboa Road. They also moved on to about 38 uncompleted projects across the country worth 979 billion are waiting for the urgent attention of the president, according to the Nation. Also, Soludo talked about the federal roads in his state, and the minister agreed that even in Ebonyi State, they sort of are competing. Those were his words on the worst kind of roads they have. They came down to Lagos, to Ogun, where Dr. Dakpabiodun was talking about the Abeokuta-Lagos road and the state that it is in. That's the one that goes through Songo. And we know that, it's been since the time of Obasanjo, the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway.
Okay.
And so, generally, we're hoping that with the new minister visiting him and them talking about it, he knows his assignment.
And they should fix those Southeastern routes. Immediately. At the end of 4 years, Southeast should not be complaining about roads.
They should
in the minimum.
Yes, but it shouldn't be just that priority.
We know, but at least...
The Ota Road needs urgent attention.
Yes.
It's an alternative to this express. All the things we suffered on this express during the...
If that road was
road was active, nobody...
And the Jalingo-Yola is really bad. I heard that road is really bad too. Go ahead, talk about the major headline.
Major headline. So the president concluded the G20 meeting yesterday, and part of the good news for Nigeria is the fact that he's been able to sign multiple deals with Germany, Korea, and India. Germany being Europe's largest economy, South Korea being Asia's 4th largest economy, and India, Asia's global giant, have formally endorsed our president for his initial promises to increase the economic operations between Nigeria and bringing more investment to Nigeria. So the conversation covered with the German Chancellor is that he's been invited to Nigeria. He's promised to provide, to increase investment into Nigeria, talking about infrastructural, large-scale manufacturers, such as bringing Volkswagen and others into reality and creating incentives for the government to bring those things into play. The South Korean government also spoke about the fact that they are interested in the fact that Nigeria has maintained democratic rule and transitioned over time, and they appreciated our president's role in in speaking for democracy in the West African region. They said that they have interest in Nigeria's education, technology, and energy. Those are the areas that South Korea is focusing on. And of course, we're hoping that as the president has extended invitation to the Indian Prime Minister, that he would be honoring it soon. He has promised that he would be increasing relations with Nigeria. So the goal of this, according to the spokesperson, that's the statement released by Ajuri Nglali, is that it is, the president said that it's not for the government to design the financial architecture of Nigeria, but to create an expansion of the economy through partnerships. So that's why this meeting and the deals that we hopefully have struck would be of importance to Nigerians.
Okay, moving on now to the Punch. National Assembly polls tribunals to decide 400 cases and end sit-ins. Morocco earthquake victims rise to 2,122 children worst hit. NDLEA seizes 399 explosive, illicit drugs, grammar, others arrested. 24 dead, 30 rescued in Niger boat accident. Ogun, ex-Governor Daniel's wife clash over the plaza demolition. FG Foreign Airlines meet as flight disruptions worsens. Banks' bad loans hit 479 billion naira amid economic downturn.
Okay.
Picture story here. Go ahead.
I have the major headline.
Go ahead.
So the Punch, of course, are giving us details on all the election petition cases are outstanding now. And today, about 400 are waiting to be decided on in the country today. An INEC official said there were 552 election petitions following the elections across the offices that were vied for. Federal House of Reps, House of Assemblies, and governorship across the country. So this is the last week. I think it's time bound. It's 180 days for the tribunal to decide every of those cases, and so they are rounding up. And today we have about 400 that are standing. 150 have been decided on, either struck out or withdrawn, and we have 400 to close on this week.
That's a lot.
All right, let me take the picture story. Really, really sad. We all woke up over the weekend to the 6.8 magnitude earthquake that happened in Morocco. It's been quite a painful situation. Over 2,000 people have died. Children have been worse hit since the earthquake happened. The United States, France, Israel, Spain, and several other countries and international organizations have offered their help to Morocco. However, they said that their assistance is going to be based on the directive from Morocco's government. And although Morocco is deploying its own answer to the earthquake, Spain's Foreign Minister Jose Manuel Albares has said that they've officially, that Morocco has officially requested help from their own country. So a plane carrying 56 rescue personnel was sent to Morocco, and they mobilized all their technical security experts to support them. Also said that the G20 summit in Delhi, India, adding talks are also saying there are ongoing helps for Moroccan government also. But it's a really, really painful situation. This is a natural disaster. You can't really blame anything on it. But according to the United Nations, they are offering help. They're on standby, waiting for instructions from Morocco on how exactly they need to help. But in the meantime, other countries have all offered help to see what they can do to rescue. Rescue is still ongoing. But so far, they've had 2,122 confirmed dead.
Wow.
So sad.
Okay.
So let me take the banks.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Any other story in Punch?
We have stories. You were
Yes.
about to take care.
Banks. So about 4 banks have reported that they have 478 billion non-performing loans during just the first half of this year. This is an increase of 16% from the first quarter last year. The full year ended in 2022. There's been a 16% increase in the number of non-performing loans, and they are just from 4 banks. We're talking GT, Co, FBN, that's First Bank, FCMB, and Fidelity Bank. They said this is, even while this is non-performing, these are like stage 3 loans, that there are still some loans that they are able to do debiting the bank account of the debtors, but to reduce the volume of the loans, that this report was released to the Central Bank of Nigeria, and they are hoping to find a way to decrease it. But if the loans keep on increasing, if defaulters keep on increasing, it will make it difficult for the financial institution in Nigeria to be able to handle the challenges.
Yes, so the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is doing what they do best, and they've been able to recover 399 pieces of improvised explosive devices from one Asana Leki 39 along Mokwa Jeba Road on Thursday, September 7th. So according to the suspect, he said the explosives were handed to him at a park in Ibadan, Oyo State, to be delivered to somebody in Kaduna. And alongside the exhibits, everything has been transferred to the military. They are also, carrying out other formations to continue the war against drug abuse in different places and local communities. They also intercepted consignments of skunk concealed in tomato paste and methamphetamine, that's meth, hidden in used clothes meant to export to Dubai. The skunk in tomato paste consisted of 20 kgs, which was intercepted Friday, September 8th, and that was at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. And the meth shipment also was a gross weight of 1.60 kilogram, which was seized in a courier company in Lagos. There was also another consignment of 556 grams of Canadian loud sent from Canada to one Tunji Adebayo in Ikorodu. But when they got there, it was that Tunji wasn't around. It was his brother who signed off on the package, and so NDLEA has arrested him. Among others, there are so many of them that have been intercepted in areas like Mushi, Ghanaian loud, Sabo Yaba, different. So it's just like a compilation of everything that has happened within the week, and well done, NDLEA.
Let me move on to Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story we've not taken at all. 24 dead, many missing in Niger boat accident. 36 states get 1.51 trillion naira FAC allocations in 6 months, says NATE report. 400,000 healthcare workforce not enough for Nigeria, says Pate. Northeast governors raise concern over influx of bandits, and the picture story here, destruction of 5-story building. Ogun government, Daniel's firm trade words. It's an illegal structure, contravenes physical planning, says government. Okay, which story?
I have the Catholic Bishop Conference of Nigeria, and holding their conference, they addressed the issue of the Presidential Tribunal result that we just got. Even though they, lambasted the tribunal for what they said, for allowing INEC, saying that INEC wasn't mandated to upload results on IREV. They also agreed that the Petition Election Tribunal must not bend. The Supreme Court mustn't bend to the whims and caprices of political parties across, but they must do and follow the law existing on the land. So we might have a deficient electoral act, but the law is what it is, and that they're asking the Supreme Court to uphold the law as it is and not bend to, play to the gallery for any political party.
Yeah. So I have another story. It's a tragic one. Said in Niger State Sunday, a boat capsized in Mokwa area of the state. And the exact number of the people on board and the cause of the accident as at the time of the report has not been, given. But according to the chairman of Mokwa local government, he confirmed the incident. He said rescue efforts were ongoing, and he confirmed that 21 dead bodies have been recovered. And 3 community members, Gbajibo, Ekwa, Yankaide, were also affected. The police was also contacted, and they confirmed the accident. And according to the police, they are suggesting that about 13 people lost their lives. And we know that in that area a few months ago, about 100 people who were coming back from a wedding died in that sort of boat mishap. So I think we'll just wait the investigations to find out what exactly caused this particular one. But our hearts go out to the people who have lost their lives and their families.
Yes, I have the story about the Northeast governors lamenting the influx of bandits. So there was a meeting of the sub-region Northeast Governors Forum, and they lamented the fact that there's been an increase in activities of bandits within areas that never had issues of banditry before. Bauchi, Gombe, and Taraba states were never recording any issue with but now it has become, it's increasing in numbers, the challenges of banditry within those areas. And the Governors Forum was, at the Governors Forum was the Vice President Kashim Shettima, and in attendance also was the Borno State Governor, who was also applauding the military for how far they've come, but they're now asking for the help of the military in being able to flush out bandits, that the insurgents that are not, any insurgents that is not dropping their arms should be flushed out. They should go into their enclave and flush them out. But at the case of banditry that is increasing needs to be stemmed quickly. The governor also mentioned the fact that there's a negative effect of, the governor spoke about climate change and the impact of climate change on their people, and the fact that there's an increase in loss of livelihoods of the people because of the flooding and destruction of properties and the challenges that is being compounded by climate change, degradation of the majority of the environment. Then they spoke about the insecurity challenges within the rail system, which I took that story on Saturday, the fact that the rail is supposed to encourage mass transit, but because of bandits, the rails are not able to do what they are meant to do, and there's a neglect of roads and railway infrastructure along the economic corridor of the Northeast as well. So but generally, the Northeast Governors Forum are talking together as a group to discuss the economic challenges affecting the sub-region and prefer solutions that they feel the government can help, chief of which is insecurity challenges.
Okay. Was that
yes, from
Vanguard, very quickly. Fresh inflation fears as top firms lose 606 billion naira to forex wars. Why Nigeria should be included in the G20, says Foreign Minister Tuga. Let's find a story of not taking fee. Varsities in desperate situation can't retain old rates, says Unilag VC. Regional Maritime Security, UK warships arrives Nigeria. PEPT verdict, fate of Nigeria hangs in the balance, says Catholic bishops. PEPT must explain Tinubu's imprint on the judgment, says LP. Okay, which story are we taking?
Okay. Let me quickly take the VC of Unilag, Professor Folashade Ogushola. She just, in this article, decried the state of the university's finances. She's saying that, you know, the universities are presently overwhelmed with producing the kind of graduate Nigeria needs with the limited resources that they continuously have. And she talked about how cost of running schools are, you know, continuously rising. Recently, they increased their school fees, and there was a protest, and students were complaining about the increment. But, you know, nobody understands how to finance university education. If it was abroad, there will be other means of, you know, finances that people can use. But here, we are constantly being, imagine for the cost we train our doctors with, when they go abroad, they can't afford to get education for that amount. But once they get educated here, they leave. So she talked about generally everything, and I'm hoping that this article will be read by the right authorities and they'll sit together and work out something sustainable for everybody. Together
is the important part.
For everybody, the students, teachers, the lecturers, and government.
So a UK warship arrives Nigeria. So a Royal Navy warship, HMS Trent, yesterday arrived Lagos as part of the regional mission to aid allies and partners in driving down illegal activities, including piracy and illicit trafficking. It left the UK Marines yesterday, and its mission is to support West African allies, helping countries to develop their capability to fight illegal crimes at sea and ensure they can play an effective role in bringing stability to wider West Africa. Many of you know recently quite a few of the vessels were burnt, were destroyed. Those who were with the illegal mining that was going on, illegal stealing of our crude. So, but here is the HMS Trent from the UK, which is helping to come and support their allies to ensure that the illicit trafficking of our crude is stopped and nipped in the bud as soon as possible. This is a good thing, but we'll see how that goes. Moving on to any other story in Vanguard. Okay, let's go to the point. Let's find a story. Keredolu's return has unsettled key stakeholders, says insiders. Southeast leaders move to reposition region as Nigeria's economic hub as individual states target $30 billion growth. Why I take my children to mortuary regularly. Mortician who started interfacing with the dead at 11. And Obaseki has taken Edo back to Stone Age, says APC statesman. You have a story there?
I have the bottom strip story. Nigerian ladies slowly killing themselves using dangerous, unprescribed libido enhancing drugs.
Okay, that's
So this one is a medical alert, and I hope that, you know, the people listening would take heed. The story talks about vendors who sell their drugs online and people place orders not knowing the content or the chemicals that constitute that entire drug. And it's, of course, to enhance sexual strength for them. And, you know, of course, to satisfy their customers, they take these drugs, that goes into their organs, affects their livers, affects their kidneys. In the long run, long use of it, you know, is detrimental to health. And I hope that they heed the advice.
All these people that used to do those kind of things.
We have to run off any other story?
Yes, so a mortician, simply identified as James Adam, said he has been taking his children to the morgue. He actually works in the morgue, and he studied at the University of Ilorin for that, morbid anatomy. And he was saying that one of the reasons he started taking his children there is for them to overcome their fears, so that they are able to meet a lot of challenges. That people are afraid of, you know, being around the dead, but that's an industry that is really untapped. There are not a lot of morticians that are available. There's a lot of money to be made in that industry, and is encouraging people to, you know, embrace it. That there's nothing when you go there, after even the kids, they are now used to getting to the place. They don't get afraid of dead people anymore. They are now working with him. And he started at the age of 11 while he was, you know, assisting his elder brother, who was also a mortician. It's an interesting read.
Yeah, people think it's a bit morbid.
Yeah.
They don't like anything
They are very
morbid.
spiritual about it. God forbid, you know.
But somebody's got to do the job.
There
There's a guy that said it's shit doing business. The guy.
Yeah, shit business is good business.
Yeah, shit business. He was clearing shit.
My grandfather was
and he make a lot of money.
a coffee maker. Coffin.
you
And that's how he
kidding?
made his money. So somebody will make money from it.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So last Thursday, the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, gave the Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS, 2 weeks to clear all the pending passport applications. According to reports, delays in the processing and enrollment of passports in Nigeria have been a source of frustration for Nigerians, causing significant delays in obtaining crucial travel documents and having to deal with about 200,000 backlogs, calls for national emergency. So today we'll be bringing to the fore the conversation, the challenge Nigerians are facing concerning immigration, and get your own general thoughts on it. You can call us on the numbers on your screen to get more information. You can call us to join the conversation, 081-076-41679-090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. All right, so this issue now, there are two sides. The issue of the passports delay is there. The issue of this new minister reading the Riot Act, shouting at everybody, yeah, in 2 weeks, and I'm thinking to myself, what are your thoughts? Because I have had the privilege of working in some ministries, and I know that you don't order civil servants around, because you can, from the top, you can shout all you like. But if the man is not going to pass the file from point A to point B, in fact, you won't even trace it. You won't even know where the problem is. You can look, you can spend another 1 year to find where the problem is. So it's one thing to read the Riot Act. It's another thing to act. So there's an issue, but how do you think? So let's start with his shouting. What do you think about his way? Do you think that's the approach to deal with this matter? Or do you think...
dogs bite the back now. So he has to back, and you must then bite. He cannot just back and not bite. My husband was talking about the Minister for Interior. I said, this one is a no-nonsense minister. I looked at him. I said, if he never bites somebody, he's not a minister. Because you can be doing this for the press, and we will be taking your stories on how much time you are giving them deadline, you are giving them ultimatums, and nothing will show. Because, as you said, they know they use rope drag any civil servant. They will sit in their office.
I mean, looking
and
at
the person that will move the file, they will say it's Mrs. Tokpe. It's on her desk. The person will come and search on that Tokpe's desk and bring it out. And when I will be like, Tokpe, but you say you did not see it. Did I put it under the desk? And you know, we know how the civil service works.
Yeah.
Then we also know the business of the touting that happens seriously. If you pass by Ikoyi, just drive past that place. You will know what we are talking about. You are reaching there, somebody is already talking to you who has an officer inside. Of course, these people make it scarce, so you will pay.
Yeah.
And so you must take care of the issues from bottom up. You cannot just sit in the office in Abuja and give ultimatum. If he is serious about it, you should even start from Lagos alone. Come to Festa, come and see what is happening. And you know, from there, we know that... No, I mentioned Ikoyi first. But you know, it's annoying. When you drive past the immigration offices and you see the way we line up.
The crowd.
Now I'm aware that they've even logged on to the NIN portal so that your details come up before then. And yet, the crowd is there.
So I like how you started. I think he first of all needs an understanding of the issues. So it's not just about reeling out the orders, you must follow up.
Yes.
I've gone there a few times. In fact, the last time I went there, I met Mr. Mark with the children.
The kids, my kids.
Me and my children, my kids were sweating. And mommy, what's going on? Do we go? I say, if you don't go home, if you go home now, you will not get this passport. We have to wait, you know. The queue is, number one, as a result of the network. That's what I noticed there. So there's always, network is down. You can see people just waiting. Nothing is happening. They are waiting for network to come up. That's one thing that they must fix. If this threat is going to be carried out properly, you must make sure that their network is not down so that it's efficient, it's moving, it's fast. That's one thing. Secondly, I don't know how they are going to remove those people who do the business outside. Some persons don't answer them. You go straight in, but you know how long you're going to even get your file passed. You know how long you're going to wait there. And so they are solving problems as a result of the loophole that the agency has created. You need to find a way to eliminate that one. But before you do that, make sure that your system is working. People are not delayed. So you know that I don't need this roadside people to help me. I know that once I get in a few hours, and I was educating my children. Nigerians are naturally not patient people. We don't like to wait. So I reminded them, I said, when we travel, we stay on a queue. We wait. Don't you wait? He said, but that's different. There's AC. I say, wow. Wow. That's the point. So we need to review some of these things. The sweating there is not, the people who are selling drinks, the people who are selling food, everybody is making money as a result of the loophole. So these are some of the things that must be fixed so that this 200,000, threats that is given will actually work.
Let me come to you. Let me get your thoughts on the grand.
Oh, okay. Nigerians respond to, we like the optics. We like to see it seems you're working. But if we take away the, prejudging the minister, what he said is he's having to, as he got into the position, he has been getting emails and letters from Nigerians who are frustrated that are saying that the delay in passport has caused significant difficulty on their lives. So if you are a caring person and every day, back to back, people are sending you messages, you will get angry in your reaction to say, you have a short timeline, what is going on? Why can't you? It's not a rocket science able to print this thing. So he was reacting to the complaints he had gotten from Nigerians, and I think that is that on one side. However, even when you say those set people up for failure, I hope that he understands the number of people, this 200,000 backlog he wants to be cleared. Is it possible in any way for it to be cleared within the time frame he has given? Because if you set a goal that even you know is not realistic, everybody will be looking at you because they know that you cannot do anything because the goal is not realistic. But if he can back up his goal to say that in 2 weeks, I am sure 100% that in the next 2 weeks, if everybody does what they are meant to do, we can print enough, we can cover these 200,000 passports. If he knows that for a fact, then I'm okay with it. But I'm not sure that
thank you,
people will
for
believe
taking
that.
us there because, we're going to come to the issues because we're going to open our phone lines for people to call in from all over the world on their issues. So hopefully that we can get some comments. But when we are technocrats and we come from outside, we're looking outside in. We have a perception. What's going to be doing? It's not just internet. It's not just this. So we are looking at the outside in. When you now get in, first thing, understand. Because it happened when I was doing some work with the Commissioner for Education. And when you come from outside in, you just think, oh, let's just do it. It's when you now enter the system, first of all, you even respect the system. One of the, I remember a conversation I had with the past Commissioner for Education. She said when she got in and understood She now understood that we have even better teachers in government than even in private sector. That the quality of teachers we have in public schools are far better.
Yes.
Because she was able to, if you see outside in, you'll be thinking, what kind of dumb teachers? When you come into the system, you realize that this is quality. What they just need is a proper enabling environment. You understand the system first. There's something going on. So before you start shouting and screaming, first of all, get in. Because trust me, civil servants who are there, they've been doing it for many years. If they want to mess you up, they'll mess you up.
They're not even civil servants, though. They are immigration officers.
Yeah, but they're civil servants. They're working for the government. Government pays. They're coming from the money the government, we're paying them, the salaries. So if they want to be a clog in the wheel, they can be a clog in the wheel. So as a leader, is it the best approach to go in with that riot act, or first going to understand the system before you now say, okay, I have seen the system. We have this technology, just like Dr. said. This is able, it is possible. Why is it not getting done? You do the investigation before you start shouting. Or do you think this was the right thing?
If he does not shout, then I go yabamu. If he does not shout, I just be like, this is our Minister of Interior. What exactly how many months would it take him to understand the problems in this ministry?
Okay. So when you were talking about understanding the problem, I remember that former Minister for Interior, who we thought,
Rauf.
Yes, even though he's not my favorite right now. We thought he responded to the problems. He also talked about these letters. He even talked about at some point considering printing the booklets in
Yes.
It is until I was reading this story I found out they are still printing the Malaysia that.
So there's a reason.
So he also tried, where Nigerians had their passports expire when they are abroad. He said they can travel in. They did so many interventions. We see the way we did. Nigerians are still complaining. So one of the things I think they can do is deploy the technology that has been deployed abroad, where you front load your details. Online. Your booklet is ready. You just come in for your data capture, and that should not take forever.
He's printing the booklet. Are the booklets available?
Yes, he said that.
Why is the
Yes.
booklet so terribly unavailable?
They have it available.
You create this scarcity. See, let me tell you what they did. When my son was a year old, I tried to do their passports because their father still wants to travel out, even though me, I don't like it. And so we went there. Do you know I eventually spread mats in the shop of the person that was to sleep with the baby that was breastfeeding? The booklets that the capture we're talking about, when we went in, we still waited. And they still put I after my name.
Mistakes too.
So if we front load these details, there will be no gra-gra, no rush. Somebody will be able to capture your details correctly. And everything will be done. You can even disagree when you see print, print copy. You look at it, you can verify this is not correctly spelled. You can do all those corrections instead of telling me, go back to Abuja and pay another set of money for a name correction.
So we'll come to the issues now. Let me take Adedoyin. They'll come to the issues we have. Adedoyin, thanks for calling. You're live.
My name is Adedoyin Lawrence. I'm calling from Ogun State, Magboro, precisely.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, I would just want to share my experience about obtaining international passports. Are you hearing me?
It's very...
Yes.
I can hardly hear you, but try to speak louder.
Okay. Now, the problem is that most of Nigeria are not patient because government has created opportunity that you apply online.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say.
When you apply online, then you print your document, you go to the ASEFCOM at the capture office and put those things in file and wait for interview. From there, you do your capturing. Now, I share my experience. I want to obtain for my two children, and somebody told me 60,000. I said, no, I can never pay 60,000. And we do this thing online, 26,000. I proceed to one of the centers. I will not mention the name for security purpose. When I get there, they told me that they don't attend to self-apply. I said, no, what? If you do that, I will expose these people. Immediately, they asked me to come inside, and they teach my file. And I sit down. And where I sat down, some people are telling me they pay 60,000. I say, no. Why? How can you pay 60,000 where officially it is 26,000? But impatience, but there is a begged corruption in that system. They are not monitoring what those guys are doing there. They are not monitoring them. Because I see...
Think Adedoyin. He has said exactly the issue. Let's go on the break. When we come back, we'll discuss what Adedoyin said. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the immigration issues. You can call us on 081-076-4169-0902-4163-440. Also send us your tweets, and on YouTube we'll read your messages because we'd like you to join this conversation. Bisi, let me come to you. The issue. So the last caller was saying that there's a system that was created. Even Mutoko was mentioning during our regulation last time, where actually this is supposed to be automated. Yeah. You load up all your information, as you said, and then you are supposed to print it out and bring it. But then you now go to the office. They don't accept it. They want you to do the manual because that's how you now pay them. Yeah. So it goes back to we the people. Yeah. So the government can try to put the system in place, but we also manipulate it. Yeah. That's why I said civil service sometimes.
So if the online works effectively, people will not make money. People who, and I believe that the people on the outside who ask you to pay them and bring it in are working hand in hand with the people on the inside. Yes, it's rackets. So go and fetch clients. You have a commission. That's how it works. And that's how it's been successful so far. So you need to understand, how do we get these people to know that we are paying you for a job and you must do the job. You don't have to cut corners. Anything that happens with civil service, there's always an official fee and an additional fee. And it's affecting a lot of people. A lot of people are not able to do businesses because they are thinking of the official fee and they're also thinking of an extra bribe or commission or whatever that does not get to the government. And so you are making Nigerians' lives very difficult for them, especially people who are still managing themselves. For people who have so much money, they're like, well, I can't stay on the queue. Let me just pay, and it makes it easy for them. So they benefit from that. But people who don't have any other means, you frustrate them. And so it's not about just them saying, this is what must happen. You must go in. You must send in people to investigate and find out. You must make a scapegoat of some persons. But first of all, when there is no law, there's no sin. Is it a crime to collect extra, first of all, in that immigration? Is it a crime to collect extra? If it's a crime, please paste it there. And then, hold on. No, listen now. Give them time now. Give them warning. And then get people to, whistleblowers, to go into the system and make escape. Once you make escape, 1, 2, 3, every other person will sit up. And I know they will say they don't pay them well. This is the way they survive and all of that.
This issue of scapegoats. If Tope is guilty, or if she's the one masterminding, you will not trace her. It's not this Nigerian civil service. Everybody would cover. You can't. It's difficult for you to find a scapegoat because you can hardly find one person.
Any junior staff that does not play along gets punished. Necessarily, they
transferred somewhere.
Suspend memo and all of that. When you enter the immigration office, I don't know anyone, the first time when you will reach there, do not patronize house.
Exactly. Yes. Right there.
If you go to the Federal Road Safety Office, don't patronize tout.
Yes.
You go to this other one too, the same thing.
Yeah.
But now tout go finish the work.
Yes.
Tout working for Oga in the upstairs.
Oh.
So we know this thing.
Exactly.
All tout shop, from now on, no shop. If you go to that 3rd Avenue, every house has photocopy machine, printer machine. What are they doing? The people living there, did they buy their houses so they could do this particular one business?
Yes, now.
So the system is something.
Exactly. So you see, government can do policy, but we the people must be willing to align.
No,
because it's happened.
If our people will not align, let's take out the human factor of it.
Yeah.
How?
Technology. I saw one woman, one Igbo wife.
They will tell you they don't have technology.
She was married to a Nigerian. Yes. When they do their passport here, they face all this Igbo we speak. When she wants to do her kids' zone, I think in one of these, Australia, one of these countries, and she will just go there. They would have front-load their details on time. They will get there. It's just one machine at the entrance. They put all their biometrics, and they'll go away. When the passport is ready, they come back and pick up. Why do we have to print what we already uploaded?
Again.
Why do we have to file it to that person who is using
analog?
Everybody says is making money out of this.
You see,
who are you giving all these papers to? Where do we stop paper? When people are moving out from paper?
I'm coming to you now. She said analog. I have worked with the Ministry of Education. We try to remove analog, where we give you a teacher a tablet. All your school notes and writing, don't do that anymore.
Just put in
everything is already in the system. You're teaching from the tab. But you see, the people that are teaching, so if I train you as a teacher, you can easily take it. But I have teachers that 30 years, 25 years in the system, they are grandmas. I'm not giving them tablets. You know how difficult it is for them to do? It was hard, it was a struggle for them to start teaching, using the tablet. They've been teaching everybody for years using their destiny. The point is that, so it's not easy for that worker at the immigration to accept that I have to go online. It's not easy.
You're never ready to work with
Then
that,
you have to
so-
sack people.
Yeah.
Then labor will not carry placard. They can say, you are sacking people. It's the truth. It's the
Issues
vicious
are
cycle.
enormous.
Technology
It's enormous.
training now. All you need to do, give the person a code. You enter the code. The details the person has uploaded correctly. Not be saying somebody else is using file to type my name. It was typed by saying I is not there. So
The thing is, we are among the privileged few in the population that you're educated, you have your smartphone, you can upload everything, you have a laptop. I have an intern that she's studying mass comm in Unilag, and she's never owned a laptop. She has a smartphone, but put her on the laptop, she's lost. You know, so we are actually among a privileged few. Majority actually don't have access to that. So there's importance to have that. Our analog is still going to serve us as a country because majority of population are still poor. We're not talking about the analog. We're talking about corruption. We're talking about exploitation. Those are the real issue. It's not about the fact that we're doing it manually or we're doing it through technology. It is the fact that Nigerians have chosen to exploit other Nigerians because they have the opportunity to do so, because they're powerful. You will come to me and I will not do it until you pay. And people will wait for months and realize that, I cannot continue to pay. I have gotten my passport now, I can do small shakara because I did 10 years for myself. But I had to after paying the 60K, I had to pay an extra 20K. Because after waiting for 3 months, it wasn't going to come out. If you want this passport to come out in 2 weeks, pay 20K. I paid. And in 2 weeks, it came out. You will never pay to the immigration officer's account, but they are the ones in charge.
Yes,
so
so
they have people around who do
Yes.
That's the point.
So it is a case of the show of power. If you put the strong punitive measure on ground and you actually have the power to enforce it, because, Oga Minister, you cannot sack people that if they don't do this 200. They will show you the law. The civil servants know the law more than you.
Of course.
So if you make a threat that you cannot carry out, your threat is already dead on arrival. So it is important that we are working towards solving the real problem: corruption, exploitation.
Simple. Let me take a call. Ade, thanks for calling from London. I know the Nigerians diaspora are having these issues seriously. Good morning, Ade. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning, Mariah. Good morning, ladies. If you are talking about Nigerian passport, my goodness, everybody in UK will tell you sorry. When I want to apply for a renewal of my own, it took me 6 months. I paid almost $300. You pay a company first. When you get to the embassy, you say go to the post office, go and pay this. Go and do that. I waited for 5. I even tested, what's the name of the minister before? Aregbesola. I tested him right from the embassy. That's what is going on. He said, if I'm in a hurry, I should use my own passport. I still have the test. That's what he said to me. They use your own passport if I want to come to Nigeria. How will I come back there? Even though I have this passport. But what I'm trying to say is that the system where it was wrong is that if you apply for a passport, fill the form, pay the money, do your biometric immediately, but they will tell you that Abuja will send dates. And Abuja will now send 6 months, 3 months dates. I have somebody who has just applied now, and somebody in the embassy here told him, pay 350 pounds, and we have to fast track it.
Yeah.
That was it, never, I can't pay 350. For what? So they should cancel the system of booking for biometric with another time.
Exactly.
Apply for your passport, come the next day. If you are applying for another big passport, I don't even need to go there. I go to post office, pay them, they check my form, and they send it. 1 week, 10 days, it comes back. And if I'm in a hurry, there's a fast track. Within days, they bring it to my house. Simple. Until they do that, corruption, this means I say,
and the fast track is official.
It will work. God bless
You know how much money I spent on this passport matter?
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I'm so embarrassed that I'm
Even,
as educated as I am. That
but-
I was
buy
doing
you like
plenty. I did for my mama, I did for my grand, I put for the 4 kids, for me, so that I have a huge family.
Yeah.
What I spent to renew passport just through these means, because you go there and just like you said, the delay. So it's because of the delay that Nigerians are patronizing the
They
racketeers.
just want to.
And
get out of
besides that, not just the delay, the possibility of you just being
Waiting
deliberately
endlessly.
delayed.
Yes, waiting
You've
endlessly.
done- when I did my passport renewal 5 years ago, I'm ashamed to say it here. A fan of the show met me when I walked into the passport, because we have family member. You know me, I will call my family before I would go and died. So I had, everything had been done. I just came in, captured, and it was like, how long did Me that I was just 2 weeks back. And he was like, he has been here for more than 4 months.
Whoa.
He's supposed to go back to the country. He's insisting on doing it himself. And I just kept looking at him like this. I could not admit what I had to do to just get into Ikoyi and come outside. These things are so embarrassing, knowing that without doing it, I will not be able to function anyhow. It's these people abroad that think, they have time. The guy was there. He was saying he has been coming here every single day.
Imagine that.
The moment he saw me, he thought I could assist. He was following me.
That's wickedness.
Straight to go and snap.
Fair.
It's not
So
fair.
I'm hoping that this...
We need to take out the human factor.
Please,
That's very important.
can I also say that our data is not synced? The so-called the data we think we have or we claim to have is not synced.
Everybody is
If
different.
there is any mistake, you have to travel all the way to Abuja to go and correct it. I think that's unfair. I can't be living in Lagos. I have to take permission from my job to go and fix a passport problem that you can easily call and check up on the system and correct it. We need to do better.
Interesting. Sorry to cut you off.
It's okay.
Everybody that gets
My husband
married.
did exactly the same thing recently. He had an issue with his passport. In Lagos, he was so frustrated. He filled all the documents they asked him to go and bring. Several documents that he has to take to Abuja. He got to Abuja under 10 minutes. He didn't even ask for all the drama that day. Once your NIN is correct and they verify, they did the biometrics, it was
what's the
done
problem in
in
Lagos?
10 minutes.
Yeah.
But Lagos, the racketeers, were asking for, they're making you feel as if you are
doing something for you.
So they're asking for his great-grandmother's, so many documents he packed up. Unfortunately, they didn't need all that.
But still, according to the immigration system, once you are making any correction to your already existing data, you must go to Abuja to change it.
Why?
But if I have a passport in my maiden name, changing to my marital name, I had to go to Abuja. Everybody goes to Abuja to go and do it. It's wrong. We are begging. It's not that it's wrong. It's your policy. But we are appealing
Let me
that...
take Mike. I'll come back to you
Please.
talk in a second, please. Mike's been holding from Abuja. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Yes.
My name is Mike. I'm calling from Abuja. Hello?
You're live. Go ahead, please. We can hear you.
My contribution is as regards the personnel of this particular service. As much as we are trying to, fight the corruption in the system and make the system work, I would like us Nigerians to use that same energy to push for the interest of this personnel. There is no excuse for corruption. There is no excuse for bribery. There is no excuse for anything like that. But I think the same energy that is used to, tackle these people, similar energy that is actually pushing these people towards this particular thing that is actually happening.
Mike, yes.
I didn't understand what he was saying. I wanted to quickly say that we also have infrastructural challenge as the tech infrastructure. So Nigeria is planning to do tech. But when we are doing tech, you need to have money for your data, your server. Your server cannot handle 100,000 crowd. Your server, NIN server is down. You go to NIN office, there's no lights. Like, they'll say the server, you cannot do it here. You go to 2 buildings away, and then you will now pay money to do it. But you are in the NIN office, and the server is down. And that happened for like a full week. There were months when my husband could not update his... He couldn't update his... He has NIN number. They say he needs to revalidate NIN number, and they say the server is down. So we are going the technology way, but we also know that there are responsibilities within the technology part. You cannot have your server down that you cannot update. They'll say, I'm seeing the NIN, you are registered, but I cannot use it. I need to validate it.
Let me go on a break. We have so many comments. We have to read a few comments. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still taking a few comments now. Let me take from Pastor Johnson, RCCG. He says, I went for my passport capturing June 8th, and up till now, it is not ready. It means with application time and collection, it's over 4 months, which is yet to be ready. Thank God for the new minister. God will grant him courage to achieve that. So we're hoping that this minister is able to indeed achieve. Who else do you have, Tokwe?
Truth is Truth says the problem is not only going to Abuja, you have to pay for flights, which is very expensive. And it's better than the roads because of the armed robbery and kidnap accidents, and that is not even funny. Uchechi Ejiogu says they need to do better. Omote Ogun says until we have the telephone landlines and computer networks and assorted things, solid things, I didn't get that, won't get better. BC said is until everything is synced, the system will continue to fail. Okay. Adekule says the corruption in that sector is alarming. I did my registration personally since February, and I was told to pay extra 6K at their office in Ogun State. Up till now, I haven't received my passport. Since February.
Let me take, you have one, go ahead.
So I want to take the, from Mr. Bengade Mujimi. He said the system is designed to feed multiple racket outlets. Simple solution, let every child at birth get his or her passport alongside with their birth certificate. Civil servants, pay civil servants well and let them have hope in their retirement plans. They engage in corruption because there's no reward system when they are 65 and no energy to work again.
Exactly. Let me take this call.
If they're not in service, the rackets will not go work.
Let me take this call. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Very clearly. Go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you. Look, the issue you are discussing is very important. But the problem is this. Issuing a passport is not the work of immigration officer. There are two sides to immigration. You have the immigration, you have the nationality. Citizens getting a passport fall under the ambit of nationality. It is when the passport is issued and it is abused, that's when immigration officer gets involved. Oh. But in Nigeria, the contrary is the case, whereby immigration officers are the one issuing passports. Issuing passport is an administrative task, and it falls under the nationality ambit. So what the minister needs to do is to unbundle the immigration service so that we have the immigration department and then we have the nationality department.
Exactly.
The other sub point is that there are too many immigration passport offices all over the state. Look, they have one at Ijebu, they have another one at Shagamu. What is the distance between Shagamu and Ijebu? And if you join the immigration service today, bet me and you, all of them wants to work at the immigration, at the passport office, instead of manning the border. We have a porous border. Most of these immigration officers should go to the border while we leave the issue of issuing passports to a different department.
Thank you very much. See, that goes to what Mr. Ademuji was saying, that from the office that issues birth certificate should be issuing your passport. So that's to be automatically done, not having to immigration.
Let me take Populations Commission that is issuing birth certificate here.
Let me take this call. This message. Otumba Karim. Do you have that?
I have one. No.
Go ahead. Otumba Karim said that thanks to Honorable Minister, he has done well. One thing is given the required instructions. The other side is implementation, the bureaucratic bottlenecks, hanky-panky of officers and men of the service, the underhand dealings, the godfatherism syndrome, and insubordination. Issuance of passport has become a booming business in Nigeria, Diaspora, and it's the bitter truth.
Sheyi David expresses my thoughts. He says, why do I have to go to Abuja from Lagos to make a simple correction on my passport because of change of name? I even tried, but was told by one immigration officer to pay 170,000 naira. I had to keep it on hold, and please help us appeal to the new minister to change. This is my situation. That's why I don't bother to travel. Somebody has put I on my name. I say my name don't have I. They say I should go and I cannot do wahala.
You left it.
I just abandoned the issue. The unnecessary wahala we put on ourselves, we can escape it. But now I have to travel, I have to do Hajj at some point, and still have to face this issue.
You are going to Abuja?
Why do we have to do that? I have a valid NIN with a correct spelling, a driver's license. Why don't you just synchronize all these issues? No, and then
you see it from our bedroom. Hard. You see what I found out? Once your NIN is correct, you can actually, you should be able to apply directly to maybe even to Abuja office to have it changed, not through all these processes.
You shouldn't.
Now go through.
You have to go. What change of name is with your account that you had as a single girl that you want to make. You wonder whether it's somebody else's money that is there.
Let me take this call from London. Patience is calling from London. Good morning, Patience.
Good morning, Mariah. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
My first time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This topic you're actually addressing is very important. I have two kids that actually have their British passport. I'm the only one who still flags the Nigerian passport. And I can tell you the hell I go through each time I want to renew my passport. Wow. For my kids, I don't even step out of the house. I go online, fill in the details. There's even a place where you can actually put their pictures in there. Okay, the passport is delivered to the house. I don't leave my house. But when I go for mine, I spend the entire day there. They are rude. They are so nasty. In fact, you have to pay. I have to pay £130 to renew my own passport. This is outside the official rate. Just to get it out and go home. I'm being serious. If Nigerians will tell you what they go through to do their passports here in the UK, you feel sorry for us. You think we are not part of Nigeria.
We are suffering.
Thank you. You can take Nigeria out of, you can take human beings out of Nigeria. You can take Nigerian behavior out of them. So then in the UK, you think that they will copy the system and do it better, but no, it's not.
I think we naturally like to stress people.
You must work hard for it.
Yes, it's in our DNA. We must pass through the hard way. If we don't make it difficult for them, they will not see our value. They will not see that we are working. We must stretch people. You must frustrate people. Once a Nigerian has a table and a chair, that person becomes a god. I can do and undo. I can do whatever I want with you. We like that. But one of the ways I was able to hack my own is I don't wait till expiration is just 2 weeks. Once my passport is expiring the next 6 months, I apply.
That's what I did.
Hey, I apply.
That's what I did.
I pay whatever I need to pay if I can afford it, and then I wait it out. You know, I'm constantly asking, when do I come for capture? When do I come for capture? So before I'm thinking of buying tickets to go anywhere, I know that I have my passport because it has affected me before. I couldn't travel because my passport wasn't out.
We have to wrap up here.
To ask an advice for this. So my driver's license has expired, and before it expired, I was already in hospital. So immediately I came out, I was trying to get captured. Till now, I never captured.
Driver's license another one.
But the police officer at the road, even though I showed her the form and everything, office, straight, I was arrested.
Yes.
I'm on it.
Not joking.
No, that's wrong.
Not this morning. On Friday.
That's wrong.
She drove me to the... I said, madam, please let me... I'm trying to talk to... Office, so until they got there, and somebody listened to me. Until we reached police station.
No, that's wrong.
I had a 5 years license. I've been driving for more than almost 20 years. But you know, you won't hear that one. When I don't carry my papa car, no get license. You don't want to hear that one.
Honestly,
I don't understand.
We can't go there. That license is another.
Show,
Somebody has been doing it since last year. Somebody has not gotten.
Driver's license.
Yes, he went to Canada. He had to come back. Process it.
Yes.
Once I have that form that I've applied, me and you will fight on the street too. I'm not going to.
So I think we have someone on the phone. The person in charge of UK and South Africa. Immigration, I think he's on the phone. Okay, I thought he was on the phone. But we have a lot of complaints coming from South Africa, Nigeria and South Africa, and the UK especially. So the minister has said 2 weeks, which started last week, Thursday.
It's no...
Let's benefit of a doubt.
We don't know what he has
by this Thursday, it will be 1 week.
Already?
Should be the last week.
How many you don't clear this week?
So,
what will be the penalty?
by next week, Thursday,
it will be the complete 2
weeks.
weeks.
I will now find out what the Honorable Minister
has achieved.
Let's get up this first week first.
Me, I said, I know this is the problem. This is the problem with technocrats. They come in from outside and come in, start scattering everywhere. Think I say they know better. Until you now enter the system, remind you, will humble you.
The system will fight you back.
Will remind you that, listen, calm down.
They might know better.
The
system is just fighting them.
No, the system might not fight you. First, understand the system. After you understand the system, you can now prefer a solution.
System used to fight you, Mariah.
Yes. System will fight you, no doubt. But you are coming with a new
system will not humble you.
To humble you, but
you will not be looking.
You'll
be looking. You'll be like, it is any color more.
Because because the system can actually implicate you.
Yes.
And say tomorrow you stole Kiniko, be not in paper next year,
system can kick you out.
2 years. They say, soon you a joke, Kiniko billion, Kiniko a big call for Kiniko. You know what you hear?
You won't know
what did I do?
You don't know civil service will do that. When they finish,
you won't know.
You need to be praying for your leaders.
So,
that's the end of it.
Are we ready for development?
Amen.
So one thing to be shouting for government, another thing to understand the system.
What they go through.
In my own small experience, I advise you. You know, you shout for civil service like that. All right, let's go on a break. It's true. When we come back, we'll move on to other hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So still on the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal, we'll be having with us, giving us some insight because the conversation is still ongoing. We know that the main opposition parties, PDP and LP, are going to Supreme Court. And people are still talking about the fact that some were disappointed in the judgment. Others are upholding the judgment. We'll be having with us Mr. Adekunle Oyesanya. He's a senior advocate of Nigeria, and he was called to the bar about 36 years ago. He'll be joining us on Zoom, and he's a principal counsel at the Adekunle Oyesanya Law Practice. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, good to have you. All right, so before we bring in our guests, I'd like to come to Nyma, because Nyma, we've not heard your own views on this matter. We've discussed it extensively when the judgment was read, but I know Nigerians would also like to hear your views on it because we haven't heard you. What are your thoughts on the petition and the judgment?
Okay, so at the time the petitions were being filed, some details were not available for me to read. But I felt that at the time the judgment was being delivered, I saw law, because the law is completely different from morality. It's also very different from your emotions. Most people against the tribunal conclusion are emotional for me, because whatever you do in law is what we call pleading, what you bring before the court, what you're asking the court, and what you're able to prove. And when you come and say, this is how they do in the US, as a basis for what you want to prove in court, there's a problem. Or you say there was a newspaper publication saying somebody was a criminal, something that the Supreme Court has already decided upon, and you're bringing the issue again, saying that you come and decide it again based on, and you can't prove it, and you're shouting. It's not because you can. People say, "Oh, no, they're going to arcade or living on load." Even if it's a big cry, they will not leave your father's corpse in the house. Somebody must bury. Make all of us know death of infection. Something must go as we want it, as we have written it down to guide us. We cannot continue to do things emotionally.
Right.
And so a lot of times around this public tribunal and the conclusions, I just say emotions and I just keep quiet. Yesterday I saw someone saying, the president is not my president, and I'm saying, are you denouncing your country over an issue you disagree on?
Let me come to our guests, because I'd like to hear your thoughts. Good, sir, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Now, let me come to you. What are your own thoughts, initial thoughts on the judgment? Do you agree with those who say that it was the right judgment, or you agree with those who are saying that they need to take it to the Supreme Court because the judges were being unfair to the other parties?
Well, let me start by saying that as a lawyer, I'm always a bit more circumspect in reviewing these issues. You see, when parties go to court, as even before the tribunal, they go with what we call pleadings. In this case, the petitioner will file his petition, the respondent has his own reply. These are the pleadings upon which the case is fought. And then the case advances to the stage of evidence, oral evidence, that's given by the parties. And then, of course, the lawyers will make their submissions, their legal submissions. And the judges look at all of this to give their judgment. If you notice, the judges, in reading the judgment, they skip some areas of the judgment, areas where they rehashed the pleadings of the parties. The pleadings are the aggregate of the facts of the case that the parties have brought. Because of maybe to save time, they skipped all those areas and went straight to the submissions of the legal counsel and the issues for determination, and they resolved the issues. And all of that even took about 12 hours or more, if you notice. Now, for me as a lawyer, I would prefer to see the pleadings that the parties took to the tribunal, which was not apparent on the face of what was read. Before I come to some conclusion about whether the government one way or the other. But all of that we will see when the appeal is filed. There will be a record of appeal, and that record will contain all of this that I'm talking about.
Okay.
But on the face of it, as far as I'm concerned, I think the judges did a painstaking job. They did a painstaking job. They were thorough, and they tried to make sure that they did it with any detail. And don't forget, before the judgment, the social media was awash with all kinds of insinuations about the judiciary, all eyes on the judiciary, and all of that. So I think the judges were trying to make sure that they didn't leave any stone unturned, and that if there's any mistake at the end of the day,
all right,
it will not be because they have not done their best. So I think on the face of it, the judgment from what we heard, I think it was a good judgment.
Okay, let me get a few
Subject
questions
to
in
what
for
people
you.
think about it.
Okay, what do you think about the opposition parties deciding to take the case further for appeal to probably the Supreme Court? What are your views on that? And how do you think it may
Of
likely
course.
play out?
Of course, it is their constitutional right to do so. In fact, I would be disappointed if they don't do so, because there are some areas of that judgment which I would want the Supreme Court to touch upon, to decide finally. There's merit of it. For example, I'll give you an example. The 25% at the foreign capital territory issue. For example, I was thinking actually that the judges will give a split decision on that point. But the way they went about it, said, look, when it comes to interpreting the Constitution, you must be more liberal in approach than with any other statute. And you must look at the ends of justice at the end of the day, that will justice be served by interpreting this way or that way. And unanimously come out, they all agree that that's the way they wanted to go. That you cannot give the federal capital one special state over and above all the other states, as far as they are concerned. And they started section of the Constitution itself to prove their point. But again, I think this is a matter that I think should be taken to the Supreme Court, so that that matter can be laid down once and for all. Otherwise, it will keep recurring in all the elections.
Okay.
It will keep recurring.
Okay.
So, but it is good they are going on appeal, and I'm happy about that.
All right. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so for me, it is what Nyma said earlier, the fact that we have a large chunk of people who feel that the judgment is not, they feel the judgment was not fair based on the fact that they did not get the right outcome. And there are people that are putting things on social media and saying that this is not my president, or this government is not my government. How, because at the end of the day, after the judgment is out, we still have to work as a nation. What would you say would be the approach to bringing resolution to the fact that we have fractions that feel they've not been heard accordingly? Would you say we should start that process now, or after we get to the Supreme Court, the judgment from the Supreme Court?
No, of course, we should start the process now. And let me say that, look, there will always be this kind of dissenting opinions after every election and after every judgment of the election petition tribunals. This has happened since 1979, since I was in there. I mean, this has always been the case. And when you say some people are not happy about it, I mean, there's no way of even measuring whether they are the majority or the minority. Really. But the important thing is that people will always be agreed one way or the other. And that's why the system is there for us to go to the appellate court. And if after the appellate court, Supreme Court, I mean the apex court, after the apex court has ruled, there will still people who will not still be satisfied. But the important thing is that we must remember that as a nation, we need to move forward. And I also hope that our legislators will also pick one or two things from this judgment, especially after the Supreme Court, to see how they can amend our electoral laws to ensure that, I mean, more justice is done, we feel more confident about the system. Otherwise, it will be a problem. If we go forward and we just do it like this, there are issues that are, of course, issues to be discussed going forward. But we need to know that as a nation, once the Supreme Court has ruled, at the end of the day, we should just shield our swords and continue as a nation and wait for another 4 years when we can also go to the polls again and see whether we can pick a candidate of our choice. We should not make it a do or die affair. No. We have a country to live in at the end of the day. If we, at the end of the day, we destroy everything in this place, and we have to call our. In a democracy, the majority will have their way, as they say, and the minority will have their say. So that will always be the fact of life.
Yes, sir, following the ruling, when we were listening to the conclusions from the Election Petition Tribunal, some people were saying, my husband particularly was arguing that why do lawyers mislead clients if it was like this and there were precedents to show, there were Supreme Court judgments that the defense followed, the respondent followed in, replying to this petition. Why did the other lawyers not know it and their SCN on that table? You understand? And recently now, the petition also concluded that IREV was not mandated, INEC was not mandated to upload on IREV. That is in the Electoral Act. Why did we allow and the lawyers knew, why did we allow the rave?
Let me even add to that, Mr. Oye-Sonia, because my own question that nobody has been able to answer me so far is the fact that even though INEC was unable to upload the result from the polling unit real time, It was eventually uploaded. Now, when it got uploaded, were there discrepancies with what was uploaded and what was manually collated? That was my own question, because that's what I wanted to see the Peter Obi and the PDP guys come up with. That there are evidences that, yes, you know, you've uploaded real time, but this one that was uploaded, though, it says 2,000. When my people collated manually, they saw 5,000. This is a discrepancy. So was there that discrepancy that was presented to the court, and still court is saying that it was inadmissible?
No.
Are you listening to me or the TV? Because hello, sir, are you there?
Is it still there?
I think we've lost
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Did you hear the question?
Yes, if I might just answer very quickly.
Please.
Number one, it is not quite correct to say that lawyers deliberately mislead their clients, particularly in Africa to Nigeria. In Africa to Nigeria, are lawyers who have paid their dues, who are tested and tried, and at that level, whatever they do is what they believe is right. But at the end of the day, you still have people that we call justices or judges who will look at both parties and say, I would rather prefer this opinion than that opinion, based on precedent, of course. But you see, the problem with this particular issue, and that's why I say again that we need to touch our electoral laws so as to make sure that our electoral jurisprudence gives some semblance of fairness at the end of the day, is that this issue of bypass and all of those things that you are mentioning, I think they were introduced into the electoral act 2022 by Section 47 of that act. But you see, the law is contained in that section. Just says that, for example, the smart card reader or any other device that INEC contributes is what they will use to accredit voters and all that. But you see, the INEC will now go ahead and do what we call make guidelines to the electoral act to the conduct of that election. But you see, the problem has been that in most cases, there are authorities, even of the PET code, that those guidelines and even the electoral act cannot override the constitution. That has always been a problem, and that it also showed in the judgment. And that's why I said the matter must go upstairs for the PET court to look at it and come to a decision whether, for example, INEC guidelines and the electoral act, once INEC says this is what we're going to do, it must be taken as the law of partial media, which must not change. So that but you see, if wherever there's a conflict between those guidelines and the constitution, the guidelines will go. They will go. The constitution has to prevail. So and if you, when you give lawyers, if you give, like they say, give 5 lawyers an opinion to write, they will see it differently. Most of them will see it differently. Okay. And they will have authorities to support their views. So it's not because they are being dishonest, and no, they are following the law. I mean, but no lawyer will go to court to make any submission without a legal authority. All right. There will be one authority or the other. But at the end of the day, the judge decides which of the authorities is more apt in circumstances than the other. That's what happens. It's not a question of anybody mistaking anybody. Those lawyers on both sides did their very best. They did a lot of work. But what I read in the judgment, they did a lot of work. They did their very best. But
all right. Thank you very much, Mr. Oyeshina. Let me go on a break now. Thank you very much for sharing your views on this segment. When we come back, we'll open our phone lines to hear Nigerians' views again on this matter. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We have Ayodele. Good morning, Ayodele. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to have got you today.
Yes.
I've been trying this line for upwards of 2 months. I cannot come up online. On this particular issue.
Hello, Ayodele.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
go ahead.
Yes. Thank you very much for having you today. I've been trying to get on this program for upwards of 2 months. I cannot get it. I'm very grateful that I came in today.
on this particular topic happening now. On this election, the question Morales asked just now is still baffling with our current lawyers. Our manual is there, and there is a provision of law that allows every party to have representatives in all the polling booths across the country. And a copy of the voting that occurred in that polling booth was given to each of their representatives across all the nations, which means typically on their own, they can compute and know exactly what happened. And at the same time, the INEC does not uphold initially, and they uphold at the end of the day. It is clear for the political party. I have not seen of them, the two parties, Labour and PDP, coming out that my representative in this polling unit brings 5,000 and you upload 2,000. How come they do like that? And they call other representatives, they match it with each other and see whether there is a discrepancy or not. It is then we know that there is a flaw somewhere else. Nobody has ever come up with this evidence that what they upload on the island is different from what my representative in that polling booth has.
Okay, thank you very much. Because in addition to what you were saying, and I'll come to the ladies, your views on it, I understand that LP, because LP complained that they didn't have enough man across all the polling units. I can understand. It was a fairly small party. I mean, they just happened overnight. But PDP is not a small party. They had reps across every polling unit. So even if LP did not have enough people, PDP that is saying, I have a rep in every single polling unit. Give me what you collated. Let us see versus what is on IREF. If he does not, that's the evidence. That's why the judge was saying that you want us to be the ones to go and find the evidence for you on the road. No. Because you must come with documentation to show that there's discrepancy.
So how do you expect them to get the documentation?
It was
they were allowed
provided.
to take picture.
They were allowed to take pictures.
The IREF was a picture of every agent signed on each of those documents.
Like that.
So as they signed, they were going to take pictures.
Okay, they did not take.
Maybe they did not. They didn't bring
it as
enough.
a picture.
Yes.
They will upload that result that your polling unit, what's it called, the polling officer for that place, takes, and all of the agents have signed and agreed that this is the outcome of today's election in this polling unit. It will be uploaded like that without anybody touching it.
Picture. It's not nobody's typing anything.
Yes.
Okay. It's the picture you upload.
Like that.
And then that thing you took a picture, that document is collated and handed over. So my question is, what you uploaded and
does
what
it
was
tally?
Does it tally? If it doesn't tally, bring the evidence to the courts.
Of
That's
what
why judge kept saying that
you uploaded.
Give me
the evidence.
Do you want me to go to the show and go look for evidence for you? I
Also-
can't do that.
So I was thinking, it's a question I want to ask so that you just clarify, since you're a lawyer. I was thinking that since INEC presented the original results, they are the ones to present also the results from the uploaded one and the manual.
Yes. 700 and something, 100,000 polling units.
Yes.
Now, what happened in Osun Election Tribunal is very fresh to this one.
Yes.
It's closer.
Yes.
The party disputing the election result, which was the APC at the time, went into the records themselves to bring per person, per polling unit, and prove their case at the tribunal.
So it's their job.
Yes. They proved their case. You cannot make the burden that you have put on yourself.
The burden of proof.
So no, you cannot say that it's too much of a burden.
Yeah.
Tell INEC to come and prove that they are not lying. You are the one alleging that they are lying. You must prove that they are lying if it is that important to you.
Exactly.
But now you are online. You're saying, tell them to come and prove. The one I cannot even understand, that I cannot bear, is the way they are tearing our judiciary apart and comparing it to the perfection of judiciaries abroad. Is it not this America that everybody is comparing? We are reading their own every day. I'm not here to do the marketing business for America.
Is it not the same judiciary that gave Peter Obi himself the governorship?
It was it was not a good one.
Then,
President
same
Buhari
judiciary
stood out for one thing as a president in this country. He did not meddle into the matters of the judiciary in any election petition. And we have history of presidents from 1999, meddling, removing presidents of the Senate, removing state governors, removing everybody.
Absolutely.
And some people also benefited.
Absolutely.
In this same country, this judiciary is sacrosanct. This is our own Nigeria judiciary. If you want to leave, call it names, go somewhere else. Leave this country the way it is. Don't burn it down for the benefits you are getting internationally and tell us you are doing activism.
God bless you.
Let us not burn it down. I cannot take this thing. Don't burn down this country for the benefits you are getting to activism popularity abroad.
Because those who are screaming activists,
no
they are getting international support. They're getting international support.
There's no country better than your own. When you destroy your own, you will see where you are going, what level of citizenship you get. The people who have somebody was responding to a Nigerian answering him on his Twitter page when he's the one burning the embassy in this country, saying that I'm in my country now, I am queuing, I'm getting good air and everything. You will still suffer more in that country. All of us, we are here. We are tied with this decision of trying to reach a better Nigeria. You don't already escape. Can you mind your business?
Nyma, let me come to talk for a second, because it's like some people don't even bother reading the judgment. They don't care. They're already corrupt.
800 pages, even if they did not read everything.
They paid everybody. It's very difficult to unseat a president. Look at them. You don't even bother opening. It's like you can tell those who did not go to school. But from this judgment.
No, if you want your conclusion now.
No, you can tell those who actually went to school, because many of them read it objectively,
and
listened, and now thought about it and said, okay. But those of that they have no clue.
No, it's not about
they're just good. They're just following. No, it's about they're just following.
It's just being loyal to what you think should have been. It's not about.
But we can. Being able to tell the truth is also maturity.
Yeah.
When something doesn't favor you, but you see that this thing couldn't have gone anywhere else. I cannot say talk my head must give. Because I want to be happy.
What is truth? And because there are many discolorations and colorations to this thing. Different perspectives and the way we read things and our conclusion from what we read based on the lenses we are reading it through. So because of my bias, I'm not reading what is written. I'm reading
it through.
Yes, I'm reading, and you're watching. Are you both reading the same thing? How come you are both reading the same thing and you're getting different sound bites from it? So for me, it is the fact that I'm not arguing whether I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, I'm not meant to be. But I'm meant to trust the system. Even if I don't like the result I get, I must trust the system would work. Because the moment I start destroying the system, I'm destroying the country that I live in, So I think that we should give that perspective to those that are going on Twitter, from X, formerly Twitter, to destroy our country. Because what you are doing is you're not understanding the long-term impact of that your few seconds that you drop a comment. And the fact that some people have sacrificed their entire life to become judges at this level. That they are living, this is their integrity, this is their life, this is what they live for. They don't have alternatives. And they have put in their very best and they've put a judgment out. And because the judgment does not sit well with you, you discredit who they are. You discredit their integrity. Just because you feel you have the freedom to put it online, you insult them. And we need to start qualifying all of these things. Because I know that people will come for us. They've been doing that we are saying this because of where we are or where we work. Wow. It's not really about that. It's about the fact that this is my country. I have 3 children. I have my parents. I have siblings. If anything happens to this country, we will have major crises. So as much as we want to protest the corruption, the challenges we're facing, we also want the country to remain one.
My own issue is that if there's anything your view is supposed to do, is to help the ignorant understand better. Because we all can't understand at the same way. We learn in part. So our job is to help to break it down. Yeah. Because I was listening to the radio today. People are just coming in saying also they have no clue.
Their emotions.
It's just emotions speaking. And emotions can burn down a nation.
Exactly.
If you don't give clarity.
Yes.
So what is the clear part about the law? Breaking down that people understand what the PEPT, that's the Presidential Tribunal, what did they come up with is the fact that the president's mandate remains sacrosanct. The expectation that Abuja was going to throw off the president was not upheld because they felt that Abuja is just one state, just like every other state. So that should not throw it out. That was their own defense.
Our lawyer said, let the Supreme Court.
Let us explain what happened with the Abuja issue. When there's the dispute about one outstanding issue, you interpret it to settle the mischief in question. So you're not saying because they have ruled that Abuja is not our electoral college, like the way they are making it to be online. You're saying, they are giving Abuja state status. They should give them governor. They should give them local government. I don't understand. Abuja remains outside, and we have to decide 36 states. What do you do to Abuja? You give it a special status to continue the confusion. You will add it and give it the same status as the rest to decide the issue, to settle the mischief. And that is law. It's not anybody's personal, emotional interpretation. That's how it's done. If there's an issue about how many mugs are here, to settle it, if this one is not, call it color green, let's know what it will be at the end of the day.
Then there's... Oh, okay.
Shola's been holding. I'll come to you, BC. He's been holding for it. Shola, thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Mariah.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone in the studio.
Morning.
But I want to congratulate Nyma for seeing you today.
Thank you.
God bless you. You're welcome
We're
back.
happy to see her
God
back
bless
too.
you. Yeah. Mariah, that statement of comparison that you just made, in fact, I appreciate you for that this morning, because that has been my question since all the days with people that we have been having argument, and nobody is able to answer that question. Thank you so much for that question you asked the lawyer. And number two, Nyma, honestly, I give it to you this morning. I give it to you this morning. The statement you made, you actually make my day. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Lastly, please, Tokwe, I want to make this statement. You see, this statement has been going all over in Nigeria. You will see people come out and say the majority of Nigerians are not happy with this election. Who are the majority? Who are the majority? Is it because we are not protesting in Lagos? Is it because people are not coming out to talk? And they will be coming out and be saying majority because you hate this particular person. You be saying we majority. Who are the majority? Please, you are on the air. I don't want people to be saying it, because we are speaking to the whole world.
Yeah. Thank you very much,
what
Shola.
people outside Nigeria will be.
Thank you very much, Shola.
Social media.
What I want to say is, I'm now realizing, it's been reinforced and reemphasized with this tribunal that the burden of proof is on the accuser, not the accused. So if you are the accuser, you must work extra hard to prove your case. And that was what I saw. And you must make sure that you have a watertight case. Your evidence must be strong, because you are the one. Every other person said it's okay, but you said there was a glitch. So you must prove to the latter that glitch really exists. And we also need to learn how to be good losers, not sore losers. In the spirit of sportsmanship, they always tell us that whether you win this today or lose today, you're all together. We're all working towards a greater good. And if you sit back and say, because I did not have my way, because the law did not go according to how I have wanted it, that I'm going to disassociate myself from the country, then you pack up your things and you leave. Because every leader who holds a position of authority is put there by God. There's nothing you can do about it. That person must be respected. When you move on to the Supreme Court and you finally have your day in court and probably win, the person who is coming up again will be respected. It was ordained by God. And I would appeal to Nigerians to try and be logical. And I know that, with elections and everything, emotions are always flying. People are thinking based on what they feel they've been deprived of and everything. But when the cases come out, use your brain. Use what is presented to you. Read it to the latter. If you need somebody else to break it down for you, ask questions and understand. And once you get it, that you have been wrong, can you silently just be quiet?
That's why I said that. That's why I said. What I think I would like to take away from this entire episode is that we equip ourselves towards the next election to make sure anybody I'm sending out is getting the right information.
Yes.
We need somebody to come and we need a workshop. What does my representative, what are they looking out for? What should they take? We must have, how do I ensure that I have somebody across the nation monitoring? Because the burden of proof, as you have said, is on the accuser.
Yeah.
Now, INEC's error, their number one error, is that they promised a guide, they put out a guideline. In addition, my God, it's a promise. In addition to what is legally binding,
we will also.
In addition to this thing that the law says I should do manually, just to help to make you to reassure you that I've put clinical billion naira to invest in technology, just to prove to you, I'll add this one as
that addition did not work.
Unfortunately, for whatever reason, that addition did not work. During that day, it did not go real time. That's the keyword, the real time, because it was still eventually uploaded. But the real time, as I'm telling it, is not going up. That's the problem. That is the problem.
Well, let's assume it is the law. Let's assume that the electoral provided, the INEC, any results you do not upload on IREV, cancel election. So do we leave our elections undecided because a frustration happened? All these people that are talking no law, there's a principle called frustration, even in contract, that when something I promised to, I am now incapacitated, I wasn't able to carry it out. You cannot now come and hold the neck, which is what the court is saying. That the law did not even compel them, but even though they committed, even if it was the law, they will do their job because there are other methods of going on with the election. And it was done. They counted votes, they did the beavers, they did all of that. Should we now say all the votes to the dustbin?
And even the irresponsibility of somebody saying that, where did all the 300 billion go? Come on. Come on. But I saw it on social media.
But even at that,
somebody responsible.
That should
there
were several attempts to act.
Yes.
They were incapacitated. They couldn't have done anything else.
So the point is,
we like other countries
one of the
more than
things I
our
wanted
own.
to leave with people that are watching and are on the fence, that are listening to the other side and listening to this other side and wondering where should they stay, is the fact that your emotions do not count in court.
At all.
Hearsay does not count in court. They said they rigged in my place, does not count in court. My neighbor saw it with Atiku eye, does not count in court. What you have to be able to do is you have to bring hard evidence. And the judgment that took place that we read was based on the hard evidence that was provided. If the PDP candidate and the Labour Party candidate feel that they brought in hard evidence and the hard evidence was not considered, they should post it, but they haven't. What they have been doing consistently is using emotions. And it's not good for us.
It's the mob.
They have the right of appeal. They should go to the Supreme Court.
It's not the mob.
But they let them respect whatever is decided by any court in this country, starting from the court of first instances to the final courts in this country. Let's respect courts.
Yeah, but they said they are going to.
If you say they did not do the right thing, go to the Supreme Court. Not be saying Supreme Court will decide tomorrow. You post the Chief Justice, you post all the judges of the Supreme Court, and you start to name them, blacklist them online, and abuse them, as if the one that you are praising in another country will give you judgment.
Wow.
When you go see apply for visa, you know go see.
We have to run. That is all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things that we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for me. Nyma is back.
We go see this out.